can hurt you from anywhere, but nobody's swinging it better right now than Gabby Garcia.
Gabby Garcia is coming off of homering in 6 of the last 7 games. She is hot at the plate right now at the perfect time.
Well, for Arkansas, Robin Herron, the lefty, she's going to try to slow him down today. What should we expect?
Oh, you can expect Robin Herron to utilize her rise ball, throwing it through different levels of the zone. She likes to offset that rise ball with her changeup and will occasionally work east to west.
Razorbacks and Sooners ready to go for game 1 of a twin bill. It's going to be a big-time day, and the fans have just poured into this place, packed to the gills, and ready to go. Oklahoma's first ever SEC Road Series. Ella Parker will lead things off. This is a bit of a change in the lineup. Different than what they had all 3 games against South Carolina. And 5 left-handed bats in this OU lineup today. You know, yesterday the winds reaching gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour plus. Just wasn't safe for all involved to try to play that game, and now we get bonus softball today. Underway in Fayetteville as Robin Herron deals in a first pitch strike.
And for Robin Herron, that is a great way to start the game with first pitch strike against this OU offense.
Now Ella Parker for Oklahoma, top 10 nationally in average, on base, and doubles. Redshirt freshman from Los Angeles. Hard hit to the right side, but on it is Davison, and there's one away. And that's a giant step. You got to be able to get the lead off if you want to slow this high-octane offense down.
You've got to limit the first batter getting on base, and for Robin Herron, she stayed lower in the zone against Parker, and for Carly Davidson, that's a hot shot to second base that she stayed down on to get the out.
Brings up McEnroe Macinas. Great year so far for Nelly. And showed it last weekend in that SEC opening series against South Carolina. She went 6 of 11, homered twice, drove in 7 runs. This ball high and deep to left center field, going back, and Oklahoma is on the board.
Nelly McEnroe Marinas starting things off for the OU offense. This is exactly a glimpse of what we have seen from OU throughout the course of the season. Coach Patty Gasso talked about McEnroe Marinas being the leader and the producer at the plate for this offense, and she just displayed that. Let's take another look at this swing. It's an up and in pitch that she keeps her hands back, gets inside of, and just drives it over the left center field wall. That is a big time swing to set the tone starting off early in the game.
6th homer of the year for McEnroe Marinas. And we'll see how Robin Herron responds. That's only the 4th homer that Herron has given up this year in 43 innings pitched.
And for Robin Herron, her rise ball is her bread and butter pitch, but I can see against this OU offense her keeping the ball lower in the zone to eliminate the amount of home runs.
Sydney Sanders, this lineup quite a bit different. It was the same all 3 games against South Carolina. Sanders kind of gets bumped up a little bit. Got her to chase the rise.
And that's the late breaking rise ball that we typically see jump out of Robin Herron's hand.
Hit her. Got her in the left forearm.
Let's take another look at this pitch from Robin Herron. This is a rise ball that she's trying to get underneath her hands, and it's just a smidge too far inside. catches Sanders off of that elbow guard. And this is one thing that Coach Courtney Deifel talked about going into this week, is not allowing OU to get more than what they earn.
Brings up Cassidy Pickering, so 1 out. First batter of the game, Ella Parker was retired, but McEnroe Marinas with the homer. Sanders now hit and brings up the cleanup. First pitch strike to Pickering. William Lopez Pellet calling balls and strikes today. Thomas Meyer at first, Alex Leap down at third base. Your umpire crew. Back towards the middle, they get the tag and cut down the lead runner for out number 2.
And that's a great play by Carly Davidson, coming and getting this ball, being quick off the jump, up the ball off the bat, and getting the lead runner out.
Now this is trouble here. Not that the previous hitters haven't been, but Gabby Garcia. Heron trying to slam the door right now, something she's been so good at this year. Robin Heron allowing opponents to hit 3 of 47 at the plate with 2 outs. It's a batting average so low that you can't even really spit out the number because it doesn't sound like a batting average. It's less than 100.
And for Robin Heron, throughout the course of the season, when she does get runners on base or is down to 2 outs, she has been laser focused.
Three and 1 now. They don't want to walk her, but they're certainly not just going to fire in a get me over strike either. Got her to go up in the zone, and the count is full. Now it gets interesting.
And this is when you're this type of hitter that applies pressure on a pitching staff and a defense. As a pitcher, you are trying to work the border, the corners of the plate, not throw anything through the heart of the zone.
Fouled off. There's a hitter in this spot, too. You could have 4 or 5 fouls in a row, and you're just fine with that, right? Because you know with every one of them, you're just continuing to deflate. Until you get one like that. 2-out walk for Gabby Garcia. 2 aboard for Oklahoma. Already a run on the board here in the top of the first. Ilana Agbayani.
And for an offense, of course, the goal is to score and manufacture runs early on in the game, but it's also trying to work the pitcher, get her pitch count up as quickly as you can. Not only is that more information to take back to the dugout, but you're just wearing her more.
Just missed the lower inside corner there. Good pitch from Heron to Agbayani, who was the player of the game on Wednesday in Oklahoma's win at Tulsa. Agbayani with an RBI in all 4 of her plate appearances, finished with 5 total for the game. And talked about just how much fun this Oklahoma team is having when they're passing the bats, which seems to happen quite often, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And one thing, just with had played against OU, watching them throughout the courses of the seasons, their dugout, the energy that they have is consistent every single game that they play, and there is something to be said about that.
There's a strike from Heron. A 1.30 ERA so far for the lefty Robin Heron, who's already got her name plastered all over the Arkansas record books. Well, records are nice, but Sydney, she's pitching like a player who wants to get Arkansas to a place where they've never been before, and that's to Oklahoma City at the end of the year.
And this is Robin Heron's first year being the true ace for this staff, and she has been laser focused from the beginning.
High and deep to left center field, on the run, making the catch, Reagan Johnson. Able to chase it down and get out of the inning, but OU does strike in the top of the first. One big swing early on.
And that swing is from McEnroe Marinas with the big swing, driving the ball over the left center field wall to put OU ahead early.
Landry, she's been awfully good this year.
What Arkansas can expect from Sam Landry is she throws a lethal drop ball that has hard breaking down movement, in which she gets a lot of misses of the barrels with that down breaking movement. She also likes to mix speeds, and she's got a rise ball that she will occasionally use to offset that drop ball.
Coming off a good relief performance on Wednesday at Tulsa. The lineup for Courtney Deifel and the Razorbacks. They've gotten a lot of production. We talked about Ellis earlier, but man, Reagan Kramer in the 5th spot. She is having the best year of her career.
Reagan Kramer has been a consistent player for the offense throughout the course of her career with Arkansas. Coach Deifel, and not to mention, let's talk about the very limited amount of strikeouts that she has offensively. That's what's impressive.
Reagan Johnson, who has been an unbelievable table setter for this Razorback program, to lead it off. And takes a first pitch strike. Now a junior. The Texas native, top 10 in the SEC in runs scored and stolen bases. Now this was an issue on Wednesday. When Sam Landry came into the game, there was a discussion. She was called for an illegal pitch because the foot came off of the rubber, stepped forward, and then you had the secondary foot coming forward as well. And so it's kind of an explanation here that they're giving to her early on, maybe something to watch.
And let's take another look at this. So as a pitcher, your front foot has to stay planted on the rubber as you push off. It cannot pick up and replant again. And one thing that was made mention in that Tulsa game, that was something that shook her up just a little bit.
Landry ended up having a really good outing, though. Ultimately, she gave up the run that inning, as you mentioned, so maybe got to her a little bit, but to her credit, was able to buckle down the rest of the way. Finished with 3 2/3 in relief, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, and maybe the most important number, no walks. That's key for them today.
Very key, limiting the amount of runners on the base path. Both coaches, Coach Deifel, Coach Gasso, they talked about not giving the other team more than what they deserve.
Reagan Johnson, 2-time first team All-Region, first team SEC a year ago. And she'll take her free pass.
And this is huge for the Arkansas offense. Typically in the game of softball, the amount of times that you can get the leadoff hitter on, you're going to find a way to score the run. And with Reagan Johnson on first base and the speed that she has in this Arkansas offense this season, manufacturing runs in different ways, the pressure can be put on.
First pitch strike in to Wyckoff. Now for Landry on the year, 37 innings pitched. That's only her 5th walk. Came in with one of the best strikeout to walk ratios in the country. hard through the 5-6 hole. Johnson will stop at second. And that's a good aggressive piece of hitting from Kaylee Wyckoff.
Great swing by Kaylee Wyckoff, and on the defensive placement, Gabby Garcia was shifted a little bit more up the middle, as we can see here. And with Wyckoff's swing, the hard hit through the 5-6 hole, there wasn't enough reaction time to get to that ball.
Here's Bree Ellis, and this is the exact situation that Oklahoma wanted to avoid. Anytime they see Bree Ellis come to the plate, they want the bases empty.
Similarly to Garcia, Bree Ellis is the type of hitter that you want to pitch around.
Just missed low. No active Division I player with more than Bree Ellis. Ranks third among active D1s in career RBI with 183.
And for Sam Landry, utilizing her off-speed pitch, she just went back-to-back changeups, and that's a really good approach against a hitter like Bree Ellis.
Oh, that's a tough pitch to hit. That is a huge strikeout for Landry. Just busted her inside.
And that pitch combo, let's take another look at this. She went back-to-back off-speed pitches that Bree Ellis did not bite on, and then came hard and inside with that late-breaking drop ball. It's a great setup.
Courtney Day takes a first pitch strike. I mean, as a right-handed hitter, there's nothing you can do with that, is there?
With the break that Landry has on her drop ball coming that hard and inside, and it breaks so late that you can't get the barrel out in front.
Smacked foul. The bat of Courtney Day. This is career game 199 for the senior from Pearland, Texas. If anybody understands this rivalry, it's Courtney Day, who transferred from Texas. A Red River rivalry between the Longhorns and Sooners. High hopper to the right side. Agbayani gets the tag and to first for the double play. How about this twin killing to end the threat?
And for Agbayani, this is what Patty Gasso's staple is her team's defense. This is a high chopper that she comes and gets and is able to turn the double play. And the thing that also sticks out to me, in addition to these starts and winning the Women's College World Series, is also, I recently read, out of 266 of their last games, they've won 200, out of 281 of their last games, they've won 266.
Wow.
I mean, that is just outstanding. And not to mention only 15 losses through 4 years of their national championship run. Only 15 losses.
Well, and you had last year, you know, once they got into conference play, they actually lost a series, then they lost a second series, and everybody kind of thought, okay, maybe this is the year now where the streak is ended. But once you got to the postseason, they were a freight train not to be stopped. Did lose one game in the Women's College World Series to Florida, but turned around and avenged it to get to the finals, where they beat Texas in 2 games. And a leadoff walk for Sydney Barker. That's the second walk that Oklahoma has taken. And you look at just how much they're outscoring the opponents. 13 run rule wins. Just ridiculous numbers. But on that same note, you know, game 3 against South Carolina last weekend, they hit no home runs and still prove that they can win a close, low-scoring game like that. It doesn't have to always be by offense, and that's kind of what makes it scary for the opponent.
They do a lot of hit and run, bunt and run, fake bunt steal. It's what this offense is made off of, is just simply momentum, putting runners in motion and finding ways to execute and get them across the plate.
To third. Hogs go to second for one. Pretty double play. 5-4-3. They return the favor.
And what a double play. McDowell cleanly fielding this ball, gunning it over to Davison at second, Tubry Ellis at first. That is some clean defense.
9th double play of the year for Courtney Deifel's team. They actually came in with a better fielding percentage than Oklahoma, 983 for the Hogs entering this weekend. Respectively, they are second in the nation while Oklahoma is 5th. So you're looking at two of the elite here in this series. And we talked about the importance of not self-inflicting and errors at the top of that list. Now the Razorbacks are 16-0 when they don't commit an error. Sometimes it's more than that, though, isn't it? Like, you don't have great defensive plays show up in the fielding percentage as anything other than just they got the put out, but they make plays that they're not supposed to.
Right.
Dayton able to stay alive here.
And you know, Josh, it's talked about, of course, offenses win ball games, but I will live and die by defenses win ball games all day long.
Slow roller to the left side. And that's one that McDowell knew that she had to hurry. Even if she picks that up cleanly, I don't know if she's going to be able to get that to first in time to beat out the speed of Dayton.
Exactly, and with the speed of Dayton, that ball just barely coming off of the end of her bat, it is a play that you have to be quick to, fieldly clean, and get it over to first quickly.
You can see that one being discussed for a long time in the booth where the official scoring has happened. I think you could make a case either way, but wait and see how it gets scored at the ballpark. Back to the top of the lineup, though, as the Sooners get to see Robin Herron's second time through.
And this is where seeing a lot of pitches come into play. We are only in the top of the second inning and already back to the top of the lineup.
Had her off balance there.
It's a great off-speed pitch that just falls right off of the table from Robin Herron.
Let's go, Robin!
To the right side. Davison's got it. Side retired. Leadoff reaches, but a double play. Hogs get out of the inning unscathed.
Just something to be said about what each of them individually and then collectively as a family have done within their coaching careers. But what they have done to the game of softball and how they have shaped it and evolved it, there is a lot to be proud of within that family.
And Patty Gasso said, you know, I would have believed maybe that both of my sons become coaches, but softball coaches, you could tell it just has her brimming with pride for her two boys.
And another thing that she made mention of that was so interesting that I loved is that she felt like this matchup today or this weekend is a celebration in her eyes.
Kramer back to the circle. Landry takes care of business, and there's one away here in the second.
And that's what Landry does best, keeping the ball low in the zone, getting her defense to get outs.
If you're just joining us, Arkansas got a walk and a hit to start the first inning. Things were looking promising, but Bree Ellis, who's been the most powerful hitter in the country, Sam Landry was able to buckle down and strike her out, and then got a double play ball to end the inning. That threat was squashed real quick. Ella McDowell in the box.
And what makes Sam Landry so challenging to hit off of is the ability that she has to change speeds. That's one thing as a hitter, is being able to adjust to speeds, but then the movement, it is not straight. It comes out of her hand on the same plane, and right at the last second, it takes that late breaking bite.
Landry ahead, 1-2. Boy, that's a good pitch and a tough one to lay off of.
And a 1-2 count, very tough pitch to lay off of, but for Sam Landry, that is just barely missing the bottom of the zone.
McDowell well hit to right center. And in front of the track, Sydney Barker able to chase it down.
And for Sydney Barker, she got a great jump initially right off of the bat, tracking it down in the right center field gap.
A lot of versatility for Barker. She can play a good first base as well, which is a spot they're going to continue to try to get her reps at. But she's played second, short, first, and the outfield this year. Versatility is kind of the common theme in today's world of softball, but you don't see many players that can play all of those that we just named off.
I was just about to say, Josh, the biggest asset that you can have in the game of softball is the ability to be versatile, play multiple positions. Not only does that earn you a spot out on the field and keep you in the lineup, but it allows the ability for your team to be able to shift the defenses whenever they see fit, a coaching staff to shift the defense when they see fit, depending upon the opposing team that they're facing. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like majority of the players that play for Oklahoma are versatile in the ability that they have to play numerous positions.
No doubt. Two to Davison. Popped up into right. Barker again. This one a little bit more manageable. Landry retires him in order. It's Oklahoma. 1-0 through 2. Here, but what she's done this year is just taken it to a whole new level.
The prestige of the pitching staff and the pitchers that have come through this Arkansas program within the past few years have been so dominant. And Robin Heron, this is her first season being the true ace for this Arkansas staff.
Well, fans aren't going to blink when this player's at the plate. Nellie McEnroe-Marinas with a home run in the first inning. Right now, that's your difference in the ball game. Her 6th bomb of the year pushed her RBI total to 22. And only the 4th player that's gone yard off of Heron.
And not to go back to Robin Heron, but in this moment, one thing that Coach Courtney Deifel talked about is between last season to this season, working with Robin on quite a few things, but the biggest thing was confidence, knowing that she belongs here and that she belongs to be the ace and in the circle, going to fight for them every single weekend. That was the biggest thing that they worked on implementing, was just that confidence of you belong, you've got this, you can do this.
Got her to chase the 0-2. Miller down to first to complete the strikeout. That's the first time today the Sooners have gone down on strikes.
And for Robin Heron, that was a great setup, working more up in the zone and coming back with this off-speed pitch that stays low in the zone.
Well, Heron getting that strikeout, I don't think anything is more indicative to the point that you just made, that she had to believe she could do it there after giving up the home run the first time. You bounce back and say, that was then, this is now.
It's all in about how you can respond, how you can throw that punch back, and when adversity strikes, how are you going to respond to it? And for Robin Heron, that is a huge pitch.
Sanders really leaned back, took a big cut there. The senior coming in with a 569 OBP. That's among the league leaders. Takes one up high there. You know, she's among the active Division I players, top 5 in career walks and home runs. Kind of says that she's patiently aggressive, doesn't it? I think that'd be the only way to describe it.
I was about to say that is the only way you can describe it, is she's got great patience at the plate, but when the pitch shows up, she knows what to do with it.
Right there, mature enough to lay off of it and just take the free pass. So she's been aboard both times today. And that's the third walk that Heron has issued.
And for Robin Heron, her off-speed pitch is working more precisely in the top of this third inning. And as a pitcher, the name of the game is to keep the hitters off balance. In between her rise ball and changeup, she's doing a great job of offsetting those pitches.
In for a strike, 1-2 now. Called strike 3. Just got the outside edge.
And for Robin Heron, throwing that curveball, cutting away from Pickering, she comes back with the off-speed pitch to get her striking out looking. That is a big-time pitch by Robin Heron. And right now, her pitches are dialed in, and the pitch combo that she's utilizing is keeping OU off balance.
Couple of strikeouts this inning now. Sandwiching a walk. Sanders, who stands on first. Gabby Garcia walked her first time up. Now, Garcia had only hit in the 8-9 hole until last weekend. They put her up into the 5 spot, went 5 of 11, 2 homers, 5 runs driven in. And she's there again today now for the 5th consecutive game. And you can see the last 9 overall. What she had done early on in this stretch is kind of what forced the hand and then bumping her up into the heart of the order.
You know, for Garcia, one thing that I've noticed throughout the progression of the season for OU is she's very patient at the plate, but she also attacks early in the count. And I think that is a derivative of the numbers that we're seeing, is how early in the count she attacks when that first pitch strike shows up.
Yeah!
Comes in on a 9-game hit streak. One on, 2 outs, 2-2 pitch. Top of the zone, called strike 3. Back-to-back backwards Ks for Heron.
For Robin Heron, she's shifting the momentum with back-to-back strikeouts, looking on yet again the off-speed pitch. This should give the offense some momentum.
It's in the ball game right now, but as both of these teams figured out on opening weekend last weekend, things can change in a hurry.
Especially within the SEC, every pitch, every swing, there is that intensity. It's emotional. It can be draining at times. But so far in this game, it has been Robin Heron and Sam Landry who have locked it down in the circle, only allowing each team 1 hit. And one thing that both coaches talked about coming off of that first weekend of SEC play is in the circle, limiting the amount of walks, really honing in on executing pitches. That was one thing that was the biggest takeaway from their series against Ole Miss and South Carolina.
Rio right back to the circle. Back-to-back innings where it's been a 1-3 putout to start. And we talk about the elite defensive effort from both of these teams. Sometimes it gets overlooked, but the pitchers are a huge part of that. And making plays sometimes that just seem like they're easy or routine, but we've seen them screwed up so many times that you try not to take them for granted.
It's the athleticism, being able to field your position as a pitcher. One of the best things that, and this is going to sound so simple, Josh, but one of the best things I was ever told, and my team was told during my time of playing college softball, is the best defenses in the country, they know how to play a high level of catch. That's it. Knowing how to play a high level of catch is what will excel your team and propel you forward. And I know it sounds simple, but it's so true.
Take note, young softballers. Hope my daughter was listening right then to you. Skied up and out over near the Razorback bullpen. Well, Landry had to miss a little time, obviously, was eager to work back into things. Came on in relief on Wednesday at Tulsa, looked pretty sharp in that outing. And getting the job done so far here today. Coming in with 69 career wins, second most among active D1 pitchers. Be something if OU had the top 2, wouldn't it? Oh, they do. Isabella Smith is the active leader. So you've got veteran, experienced, proven winners, and a lot of them. And she gets Miller here.
And Sam Landry, it is the aggressive drop ball that she has within her arsenal. Such late breaking movement, it makes it difficult to get your barrel down to that pitch as a hitter.
Allowed the first 2 batters she faced to reach safely, but has retired 7 straight since then. And now it's back to the top of the order in Reagan Johnson. And you can see just how focused Oklahoma is on Johnson's speed. They've got 5 infielders here. Sydney Barker, who is the right fielder, is playing to the shortstop side of second.
And taking a look at this defensive shift, she's going to pitch away from Reagan Johnson, forcing her to hit it to the left side of the field. Looking at Reagan Johnson's spray chart, she does not hit a lot of balls to right center. Everything is center and the left side of the field.
Worked a walk first time up.
And for Reagan Johnson, she knows where she's going to be pitched on the outer part of the plate.
Her ability to adjust seems like has made her among the elite. Right now, a .379 career average, which is the best in program history. Able to take that just outside.
And it's the tools that she has in her toolbox, the ability to bunt, chop slap, soft slap, power slap. She'll stand in and swing away on occasion. She does all of those 5 things on a very high level.
That one kept low in the zone, not near as much outside, but still a tough one to try to hit when you're trying to run out of the box.
And that's a great job by Reagan Johnson. Landry's gonna keep the ball low in the zone with her drop ball, and as a slapper, that's an optimal pitch to chop slap, driving it hard into the ground to get that high bounce.
That was really close. Landry with kind of a half grin on her face saying, I'm pretty sure that was strike 3, but that's all right. I'll hang in here.
Come on, Reagan.
Payoff.
And even with having Sydney Barker pulled in to the infield with Reagan Johnson's speed, they're going to have to field the ball cleanly.
Come on, Reagan. Come on, Reagan.
Staying alive here.
And this will absolutely go down as a quality at bat for Reagan Johnson, seeing more than 8 pitches in her at bat. That's one thing that Coach Courtney Deifel talks about, that they really like to track throughout the progression of the game, is quality at bats that the hitters have and high leverage at bats.
Payoff pitch 3. Third time a charm in play, and Johnson still able to find a way aboard. And that fires up this crowd.
Reagan Johnson displaying what she does best, putting the ball on the ground and running down the first base path. She gets on top of this ball, just chopping it ever so slightly into the ground. And with her speed, that's a no-brainer all day.
Wasn't even close. Wyckoff, first pitch, hit to third. McEnroe Marinas takes care of it. 1 left on for the Razorbacks in the third. They trail number 1 OU 1-0. Pretty good, just one swing differentiates them.
And the name of the game is keeping the offenses guessing and off balance. And for Sam Landry, it's been her drop ball that has kept the Arkansas offense off balance. And for Robin Heron, it was the top of the 3rd inning. She started utilizing her off-speed pitch a lot more. It was more precise. So for the offenses, it's how are you going to adjust? What are you going to attack earlier in the count? What are you going to sit on?
Ilana Agbayani flied out to the warning track in left center first time up. First-year transfer from BYU, where she was two-time All-Region. Her BYU team pulled off an upset last year in the series at Oklahoma. They stole a game, and Agbayani, 4 of 5, 2 doubles, 2 RBI in that contest. And they knew who she was coming in, but they definitely knew who she was coming out of that series, where she finished 6 of 10 overall. And so she shows up in the transfer portal, and that was a pretty easy decision for the Sooner coaching staff.
And you know, it's so interesting with college athletics nowadays and the ability to transfer players in. You see them in a series, you know, where they're playing against you, and then eventually they can play with you.
Agbayani will take a free pass. Fourth walk issued by Heron. Now she comes from pretty good genes. There's Benny.
And Benny played nearly 400 games across 5 seasons in Major League Baseball, playing for the New York Mets, the Colorado Rockies, and the Boston Red Sox. It's pretty incredible when you're able to do that in the MLB.
Parker, check swing, the appeal. Yes, she did. Kennedy Miller, that's why you always ask for that appeal if you're the catcher. That's a big difference here. Forced Parker to swing with a little bit of pressure added on.
And the crowd wanted that one. Back-to-back changeups. They really wanted that pitch.
Barker walked her first time up. That was the lead off the second.
Let's go, Robin! Yeah! Keep guessing!
Check swing foul to stay alive. Barker, the freshman, hit a 3-run homer in her 3rd game as a Sooner. And the stock just continues to rise on her as the season goes on. Coming in hitting .385.
And talk about a consistent hitter. So far throughout the course of this season, she has only had 1 strikeout. That's the plate discipline that Sydney Barker displays.
Good work behind the plate by Miller to keep that one close, keep the runner at bay. Now this is the spot where Heron has just been really good. With runners on, sometimes you see the pitcher numbers kind of falter a little bit. Opponents hitting .086 against her with runners on base.
And talk about the presence that Kennedy Miller has behind the plate. Those are both great back-to-back blocks. She only has 1 error behind the plate and 310 chances within her career.
Lead level stuff. Courtney Deifel, a former catcher herself at the professional level, and said, you know, her ability back there, it just gives our pitchers all the confidence in the world that they can bury a pitch and it's no big deal. You don't even have to worry.
Come on, Robin!
Deifel in her 10th year now, the SEC Coach of the Year in 2021, has brought 3 SEC titles here to Fayetteville, including 1 tournament title. Great battle here by Barker. Now there's times when you see Patty Gasso and she's enjoying herself just as much as the fans are. Asked her, you know, what are the moments that she enjoys seeing the most? And this was up there at the top of her list. These extreme battles at the plate. Mano a mano, pitcher and hitter. This time it goes to pitcher. The southpaw with her 4th strikeout.
Robin Heron keeping them yet again off balance. And once again, it's due to the off-speed pitch that she's able to utilize lower in the zone when she's ahead in the count.
Last 4 outs she's recorded have been by way of strikeout. And it was critical there to get that first out while not allowing Agbayani to get into scoring position. Speaking of talented catchers, Isabella Emmerling to the plate. She has started every game behind the dish. That's something you really don't see very often in today's game, is a catcher starting every game. Even at some point, expect him to just kind of say, hey, let's just give you the day off. She plays with the enthusiasm, though. I don't think she wants a day off.
I was about to say the same thing, Josh, with the enthusiasm and just the intensity that she has behind the plate. Every pitch, she is into it. And when you're that kind of leader, being behind the dish, that's what helps your defense tremendously. And right there, that swing that Emmerling just took, we saw a little hit and run action. And that's one thing about this OU offense. It's not just sitting and waiting for the long ball to find a way to produce a run. I know I've said it, but they really like to bunt and run, hit and run, put runners in motion.
Sky's not out of play.
And I think that's the first time in the past 2 innings that we've seen one of the OU hitters sit back on the off-speed pitch. That really was a great job by Emmerling, keeping her hands back, waiting back on that pitch.
Got her swinging.
Robin Heron with the momentum all day long. This is a late breaking rise ball that starts about at the Oklahoma letters and just works its way up through the zone.
Abigail Dayton, who reached on an error first time up. You kind of look at the scouting report on Robin Heron, and when it comes to the rise ball, it could be anywhere starting out mid-shin all the way up to the forehead. Sliced foul down to the left field corner. Only 1 hit allowed today for Heron. And runner left early. Gets Arkansas out of the inning. A little bit less work they have to do. Agbayani on first base. Take another look.
She did leave early. The ball was not out at Robin Heron's release point when she took off at first base. And they utilize their lower half so strong. And their point of contact, it is short and quick and long through extension. And that's what supplies all of the power. Your lower half is what supplies it. Staying long through extensions what gets the ball out of the park.
Ellis trying to make something happen. Arkansas fans were on the edge of their seat in the first inning with 2 on and nobody out. But Sam Landry was able to get the strikeout. Busted inside with that drop ball.
And for Sam Landry, she is just living there on Bri Ellis. We can see that Bri has moved to the back of the box to be able to see that break a little bit longer.
Was only the third strikeout in 83 plate appearances for Ellis. So not only the fact that they were able to get her out with 2 on, but getting the strikeout to keep the pressure off of the defense. And the power numbers have always been there for Ellis, but has gotten so much better with her vision and discipline at the plate. Strikeout every 4 at-bats in 23, 1 in every 6 last year, and then elite level this year. And on the USA Softball Player of the Year watch list for a good reason.
And the fact of the matter is Bri Ellis knows how to hit both sides of the plate so well. She has the ability to hit the inside pitch. She's able to stay on the outside pitch. And when you're able to hit both sides of the plate, that's what's going to lead to a lot of success.
Got her again.
For Sam Landry, what a pitch sequence. She started off earlier in the count, busting her inside. She worked down and away, and for this strikeout, came back in with the up and in screwball.
First pitch strike to Courtney Day. Now, the level of consistency for Courtney Day has been really impressive. You see a lot of times, you know, the scouting report gets out on a player who has success early in their career, and it just makes it tougher and tougher and tougher year by year. But she's hit 300 or better every year of her career, including utilizing the COVID year. So the super senior, just if you're waiting on a down year to happen, it just never has, and certainly isn't this year. Got her swinging back-to-back here to start the 4th, and Sam Landry is in some kind of a rhythm out there.
And for Sam Landry, earlier in the game, it was utilizing that drop ball. And the fact of the matter is she has so many dominant pitches in her arsenal. This inning, we're seeing her utilizing the low rise ball a little bit more, and it's effective.
How about Reagan Kramer and her progression now to this year? Look at the numbers, one of the best on-base percentages in the SEC. And for a long time, Courtney Deifel has praised her ability to, you know, see and have her strike zone and then not stretch that for anybody. But the difference this year is just she's kind of knowing what pitches are coming and able to get her hands on it a lot better. Only 1 strikeout in 66 plate appearances, and none in her first 61 to start the season. That tells the tale. Taken all the way there.
And for Reagan Kramer, Coach Courtney Deifel, she said she's the Robin of our lineup, but she also went into detail about how having Courtney Day behind Bri Ellis, it protects Bri Ellis, and then having Reagan Kramer behind Courtney Day protects Courtney Day. But with the consistency that Reagan Kramer has, she's in that spot in the lineup where when you've got runners on, she makes things happen.
Sat on a changeup there and knew just what to do with it. Down into the right field corner. Arkansas with a little bit of life here in the fourth.
And for Reagan Kramer, just a solid piece of hitting. This is an off-speed pitch that she keeps her hands back on. She gets a little bit on her front foot, but barrels it up, driving it down the right field line. Stands up easy on second, gives a little clap. That's a point of excitement.
6th extra base hit of the year for the senior that they call Jimmy. Story goes, tried out for a travel team. Coaches didn't know who she was. All they knew is that her number was number 99. Those coaches apparently knew somebody from their past that they played men's fast pitch with who was also number 99, so they just started calling her Jimmy, and it's stuck ever since. Whoever the real number 99 Jimmy was, I don't think he wants to pitch to Reagan Kramer.
Absolutely not. And I think within the conversation, when all of that transpired, it was like, okay, yeah, no, I'm Jimmy now, sure.
Gotta embrace it. Don't sweat the little things. Just keep going about your business. Somebody who goes about her business, but in a fun way and finds the joy in every moment. Ella McDowell. Her emotions on the field and off, just infectious with this team. A pitcher-batter matchup here. Both players from outside of the Houston area. Ella McDowell from Richmond, Texas, Foster High School.
And for both of these programs, Oklahoma and Arkansas, they get highly recruited girls out of high school. And for Ella McDowell, she was the number 3 overall player coming into Arkansas and the number 1 outfielder in her class by extra inning softball.
Back to the circle, Landry makes the play. Side retired. Razorbacks strain 1 in scoring position, still down a run. Dayton going after the first pitch. Skied up. Rio makes the catch. A big league pop up there, 1 away. Back to the top of the lineup, Ella Parker. Just inside, Miller holding it for an extra look, trying to help out Robin Heron.
And for Ella Parker, one thing that this offense has started this inning between Dayton and Parker is moving up in the box to catch Robin Heron's break earlier.
Again, close pitch, but Parker knows her zone.
And I think that's a smart decision, moving up in the box with the rise ball that Heron has. You're almost attacking it as it's breaking versus getting to it after it's broken. And it also enables a little bit less reaction time on the off-speed pitch.
That's in for a strike. Heron, one of 2 perfect games in Arkansas history, did that at the beginning of last year. Slice, drifting foul, running over. Kramer makes the catch on the run.
A huge catch by Reagan Kramer, covering so much ground from left center field. What a play. Reagan Kramer towards left center just a smidge. She tracks this ball down in foul territory. Got such a great jump off the bat. And Robin Heron, the excitement all day long.
First pitch, McEnroe Marinas to straightaway center, but Johnson in position, backpedaling at the track. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Robin Heron in Arkansas. They come to the plate when we come back. For Patty Gasso and company, not giving anybody else a real fighting chance. Carly Davison to lead off. First pitch, grounds to the right side. Nagbayani.
And to talk about the 4 national titles in a row, also for Patty Gasso, closing out her team's time in the Big 12. She goes down as the winningest coach in men's or women's in the league's history and has more than twice as many overall wins as any other coach in OU history. The 4 in a row national titles speak for themselves, but when you go down in history already with those types of statistics, it's pretty impressive.
Great year so far for Italia Rio. Razorbacks shortstop. Battled through injuries, hitting .360 coming into the weekend. 9 extra base hits, including 3 that have left the yard. And gets hit. Fifth time Rio's been hit by a pitch.
On this pitch from Sam Landry, it's a down and in drop ball that she throws, just skimming Rio right across her mid-thighs.
Only the 3rd batter that Landry has hit this year in over 40 innings pitched. Kennedy Miller coming off a .331 average in 2024. Out of Georgetown, Texas. I would think if you're a catcher, there would be a lot of just added draw to want to go play for not just a coach that was a catcher. As she bounces this towards second, flipping from her belly for 1. Athletic play from Garcia to cut down the lead runner.
The athleticism on that play, as it was a decently hit ball back up the middle, but a full out effort from Gabby Garcia. Off the bat of Kennedy Miller, it's a decently hit ball that she goes all out on. And these are the kind of plays that we see OU outside of the routine plays making time and time again that sets them apart.
So here's the big shift again for Oklahoma. And this time it's Dayton who comes in from the outfield. She's playing second base there.
And also by adding in that 5th outfielder, the ability to move over into the 5-6 hole, that is obviously a slapper's sweet spot on the field. And for Reagan Johnson, when she power slaps, she pounds balls through the 5-6 hole. So with that 5th infielder coming in, that just takes that away.
Landry says, I can take care of it from here. Gets Johnson this time. Razorbacks leave one stranded. We've played 5. It's still the Sooners in front. Your game summary, a lot of pitching right now. Robin Herron and Sam Landry both pitching really good games, but it's Landry who's got the one slightly better right now. Herron only 1 hit, but it was a solo homer in the first to Nelly McEnroe-Marinas, and that is the difference in your ball game right now.
And for both pitchers, they have been so precise in the way that they've been attacking the hitters and setting them up. It's all about just that one pitch, that one miscue that, you know, changes the game. But so far, Herron and Landry have been so precise in their locations of their pitches.
Heart of the order to bat for Oklahoma. Sydney Sanders leading things off. How about 3 RBI in the decisive game of the Women's College World Series last year? Legendary stuff for Sanders. Popped up and just hit the screen before it came down, not giving Ellis a chance to get it.
And for Cindy Sanders, she has been a part of this OU program all 4 years and has been a consistent player for this OU program all 4 years.
1-1. Got her to chase up in the zone.
Come on, Robin!
Close pitch. Crowd wanted that one for Robin Herron.
And for Kennedy Miller, that was a great job behind the plate, framing that pitch, getting it pulled back into the zone.
Arkansas lost the first 2 games of their SEC opening series at Ole Miss last weekend, and for Courtney Deifel, her team ready to play in the finale, won 20-3. Popped up right back to the circle. Sanders retired. And for Coach Deifel, she said it was the approach and the mentality that her team had, and then the commitment and the execution of the plan that was the pleasing thing. That process, it's not about the final score or what the result was, but all about the process, right? If you stay focused on that, the result's just supposed to come along with it. For OU, a pair of 10-9 victories in the first 2 games of their series against South Carolina. And then 2-1 in game 3.
And that Ole Miss series, Coach Courtney Deifel talked about the response that her team had on that Sunday game. She said after Friday and Saturday, you know, we gave them a few things that we wanted to see changed, and they responded. For the South Carolina series, it really came down to a few defenses, miscues for Oklahoma, but Patty Gasso, she talked about how last weekend was very draining. It was very exhausting because every pitch, every swing is intense, but she loved the way that her team fought back and how they stayed composed all 3 games.
Pickering earns the walk here.
And for Pickering, that's her 25th walk and her 58th at-bat on the season.
The pinch runner will be Tia Malloy, freshman from the state of Washington. Gabby Garcia steps to the plate. A walk and a strikeout today.
And for this offense and Patty Gasso, the way that she coaches, we can expect Tia Malloy to be put in motion here for them to find a way to piece together another run.
She was running on the play as this one's popped up into center. Johnson's got it. Malloy scurries back to first. Two down here in the sixth. Agbayani steps back to the plate. Career .374 hitter. 0 for 1 with a walk today. Flied out to the track in the end of the first inning. Beg your pardon. Ball hit deep that Reagan Johnson was able to track down. Went 4 for 8 with a double and an RBI in that series sweep last weekend. Got to team up with her sister last year at BYU and now playing second base for Oklahoma. One-two pitch. Right back to the circle. Heron to first. Side retired. Sooners strand one. Still leading it 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the sixth. Has had the Razorback offense just baffled.
And for Sam Landry, she's been utilizing her drop ball, her off-speed pitch, and her low rise to get 4 strikeouts. But she's done what she does best, keeping the ball low in the zone and allowing her defense to work behind her.
Great line today for Landry, who was so eager to get back into the circle. Got some time out of the bullpen on Wednesday at Tulsa in their win. And terrific so far today. Here's Kaylee Wyckoff to lead it off. The two right fielders in this game, Wyckoff for Arkansas, Pickering, who's now in right for OU, former teammates on Hot Shots Premier. Got to see them a few years ago win the USA Softball Gold Nationals. The 16U division. Their team fended off elimination like 7 or 8 times in that tournament. It was really cool to watch, and those two were some of the most boisterous leading that charge. Stays in the field of play, but out in no man's land. Wyckoff with a hit back in the first inning. To the right side, that's a lot of ground to cover. What a play by Agbayani. Covered so much ground.
And what a play that was by Agbayani. She did cover so much ground in the 3-4 hole. She gets a great read on this ground ball as she rounds it.
Well, there you go. And this is a time where you might as well challenge. You haven't challenged anything yet. And this is a big spot. You know, if you even think there's a chance, then go ahead and do it, because you're trailing by a run and you got a chance to get the leadoff on, a leadoff with speed.
You're right, Josh. This is the moment to challenge that call. Being the top of, or excuse me, the bottom of the 6th inning, this is the moment. And for Wyckoff, such great hustle down the first baseline, but for Agbayani getting around this ball, gunning it over to first base, even with a little bit of being off balance because of the ground she covered. And that is a bang-bang play, Josh. That is very close.
Ellis, check swing foul on the first pitch. Liked how Agbayani dropped to one knee when she made that throw. It kind of helped prevent her torso from maybe over twisting a little bit.
For the ground she had to cover, she got around the ball and was able to keep her weight on her back leg, her right leg, to gun it over to first base. And that's the thing about this OU defense, is they can cover so much ground on the infield and the outfield. Balls that are typically hit through the 5-6 hole, 3-4 hole, they're balls that they're making plays on.
This ball is hammered to left, but in position. Dayton makes the catch. Ellis finally gets a hold of one. But Dayton right there to make the play, and there's 2 out. Courtney Day, who will play her 200th career game later in this series, comes in top 10 in the league in slugging and RBI. This play much easier for Agbayani. Makes it. Razorbacks retired in order. We go to the 7th. Among the elite in the country, only 3.2 hits allowed per 7 innings from Heron, and even better than that today. The unfortunate part right now is the one hit did leave the yard, and our head coach, Courtney Deifel, looking on. Oh, there was a great note. Coach Deifel, 16 coaches under her or former players that have gone on to become head coaches or earn positions at the collegiate level. Second most nationally, trailing only Patty Gasso, according to D1 Softball. And of course, Deifel comes from the Patty Gasso coaching tree. She was a GA in 2008, 2009 at Oklahoma, but you played for Coach Deifel. And I know that you're not surprised to see so many of her former players or coaches go on to do great things, still doing great things in the coaching ranks.
Absolutely. Between Coach Courtney Deifel and Patty Gasso, again, I know I've said it, but the way that they are shaping and have shaped the game of softball and helping others to go on and be great within the game, it really speaks volume to not only the women, but the coaches they are.
Hannah Kaur getting her first plate appearance of the ball game. Came on in this spot for Sydney Barker as a defensive change back in the 5th. Not a ton of at-bats, but has made the most of them. 4 of 12 at the plate and has driven in 5 runs. I have trouble throwing things away. Sydney had to look back at some old scorecards from calling some travel ball national championships for Alliance Fast Pitch, and OC Batbusters under Coach Mike Stith. Hannah Kaur, one of 5 players in one game, as I was looking at an old lineup card. One of 5 now current OU players, all on that OC Batbusters team. Kaur, Dayton, Parker, Agbayani, and Maya Bland. And Kaur takes the walk. But if you played with somebody for a long time, you had a lot of longtime teammates. Just makes you feel like in the big moments that they've been a part of so many times, like you can do anything together.
Been together throughout the progression of your journey. A lot of great athletes coming out of that Bat Busters organization playing for Oklahoma. But for you too, Josh, to have been a part of that and to watch them play and then now playing at Oklahoma, that's pretty special.
Hard hit through the left side, first pitch, Emmerling.
And Oklahoma starting to gain some momentum with that leadoff walk. And for Emmerling, striking at first pitch strike. I've noticed over the past couple of innings, this Oklahoma offense, they have been way more aggressive earlier in the count, not allowing Heron to get ahead of them.
Dayton gets the bunt down. And good play by McDowell, able to get it over to first, where Carly Davison covers. Sack bunt, 5-4. Dayton does her job. 2 in scoring position now for Oklahoma, who's looking for some insurance here in the 7th.
Great situational hitting by Dayton with runners on first and second, laying down the bunt, getting them moved over to second and third. And with the speed that Dayton has, that's a great play by McDowell, coming off of her spot in her position and getting the out at first.
Well, coming back to the top of the lineup now.
And this is what we typically see from Oklahoma, where their offense starts to explode. It's the little things that they do to move runners, get runners in scoring position that they typically capitalize on.
Patty Gasso signaling to the dugout. She wants to get a pinch runner for Emmerling at second base. Maya Bland come on to run. So Ella Parker steps in. Big spot for her, and this is where you want a player, not only of her ability, but just her makeup at the plate. One of the toughest in the SEC to strike out. And we're right here, you're just looking to put the ball in play. Try to bring in that runner from third, but with first base open, they're going to be very careful. Miller set up way outside the plate.
And for here with Parker up to bat, with it being a 1-0 ball game, they're going to pitch her off the plate, going to intentionally walk her. And from there, then it puts them in a position where bases are loaded and they've got to play tight defense.
So it brings the bases loaded, and the player right now who's got the difference maker in the game.
For McEnroe Marinas, this is what she did earlier in the game. She demolished a ball to put Oklahoma ahead 1-0 earlier in the game. And with bases loaded, walking Parker, allowing bases to now be loaded for McEnroe Marinas. Robin Heron's going to have to be precision.
Strike in the upper half.
With bases loaded, 1 out, this forces the infield ground ball. Get the force out at home.
Little swinging dribbler. This is effective. That'll work for the team captain.
And for McEnroe Marinas, it was a home run earlier in the game, and with bases loaded, what it looks like. It's just about getting the job done.
That's right. So now an opportunity for Sydney Sanders. Homered last weekend in the conference opening series. Line down the left field side. One in to score. Here comes Parker. A two-run double for Sydney Sanders.
And that is the swing from Cindy Sanders to bust this game right open with bases loaded. That is a timely hit. Robin Heron throwing her an up and in pitch that she gets her barrel out in front of. Doesn't even get through the finish of her swing, but belts it down the left field line to drive in 2 runs. And it's what OU does as an offense. They get a runner on base, they put a runner in motion, they bunt, and then from there, it's on.
Pinch running at second base for Sanders is Cheney Helton. Pickering takes first pitch strike. Cassidy Pickering from Humboldt, Texas. Homered in both games of the Women's College World Series Championship Series against Texas last year. Walked her last time up. It was her 25th walk of the year amongst the national leaders. Great job behind the plate by Miller to keep that one close with 2 in scoring position.
Come on, Robin!
Trying to work that upper outside corner. Heron had only allowed 1 hit through the first 6 innings, but 3 here in the 7th for Oklahoma.
And right there from Robin Heron working Pickering on the outer part of the plate with runners at second and third, 1 out. You're wanting to force her to hit a ground ball to the left part of the field so that you can look the runner back and get the out. For Robin Heron, she issues the walk.
Loads them back up again for Gabby Garcia. First pitch back up the middle. Here comes a second run. The throw not in time. Helton slides in safe.
And for Gabby Garcia, finding a way to drive in 2 runs. This pitch is down the heart of the plate, and she hits it right back where it came from. Solid piece of hitting, attacking early in the count.
Ninth batter of the inning, Agbayani, and Arkansas is gonna, looks like they had activity going on in the bullpen. A 5-run frame for the Sooners here in the 7th. Good job by Miller there to kind of keep things light with her pitcher, Robin Heron. Now you look back at the inning and the swinging bunt, if you will, that kind of led to the first run coming in, and that just kind of opened the floodgates, gave Oklahoma life. Deifel's going to ask the umpires to talk through something here.
And unfortunately, Josh, I can't make sense right now of what this conversation is consisting of.
They are going to make a change, though, in the circle. Cam Harrison, the freshman, is going to come on. And this crowd showing their appreciation for Robin Herron. 6 terrific innings today. Things just kind of snowballed a little bit here in the 7th. Couple of unlucky breaks, but give OU credit. They've capitalized on the opportunities. We'll be back to Fayetteville after this. Now, on if the runner at first base left early. If she did, then the play is dead. The runner is out, you wipe out the batter result, and the batter returns to hit. It's a tough play to try to call, but certainly one that's worth a challenge right here. We've already seen it once in this game, back in the 4th inning. Oklahoma called out for that. There you go, reviewed, call upheld, did not leave early. One more look.
So as we can see here, her foot that is on the base has not left the bag yet, and Robin Herron has released the ball, so she is on time there. As a runner, if you leave before the ball is being released by the pitcher's hand, that's when you leave early. But in this instance, she had contact with the base the entire time.
Well, that's why the review process is in place, so there you go. And we turn our attention now to the new pitcher, Cam Harrison, freshman from Brookshire, Texas, out of Katy High School, takes over.
What Oklahoma can expect from Cam Harrison, Coach Courtney Deifel talks about how she's a fearless fighter. Similarly to Robin Herron, her pitch arsenal is she works with her rise ball, throwing it through different planes of the strike zone. She offsets that with an off-speed pitch, and she really likes to live east to west.
Facing Ilana Agbayani right out of the gate. Pickering at second, Garcia the runner at first. This has been a long top of the 7th inning. This is the 9th batter for the Sooners. Keep in mind, this was a 1-0 ball game through 6.
And leading up to this inning, we were seeing your classic game of softball, a total and complete pitcher's duel. In this 7th inning, it is all about which offense is going to make the adjustment first. And for the Oklahoma Sooners, they attacked earlier in the count, putting the ball in play and manufactured their runs to get the 6-0 lead.
Keep in mind, doubleheader here today. Game 2, 45 minutes following the conclusion of this Game 1, right here on SEC Network Plus. Cam Harrison's come in some tough spots already in her first collegiate year. Her first collegiate start only gave up 1 run on 2 hits against San Diego. She picked up a save early on, and then the day after her first save, she inherited a bases-loaded jam and got out of it for another. But Agbayani punches it through the right side, tacks on another run.
And the Oklahoma offense has absolutely exploded in the top of the 7th inning. And it's all due to just base hits, getting it through the infield. And for Agbayani, the pitch was up and in, and she got her barrel out and around it, driving it through the 3-4 hole, finding a way to drive in a run.
First pitch strike to Hannah Kaur.
And Kaur started things in the top of this 7th inning, and OU has worked back through their lineup.
That's in for a strike. Harrison came into the circle a week ago at Ole Miss, gave him 3 scoreless innings in relief, showing she can handle the pressure of SEC play. Able to battle off there. Razorbacks will have spots 5, 6, 7 due up when they come to the plate in the 7th inning. Got her to chase one outside. No need to complete the throw there with first base occupied. 2 away. First time to the plate for Maya Blands. Came on as a pinch runner earlier this inning for Isabella Emmerling. Only 14 at bats this year, but has already homered once. A .429 on base percentage for Bland. For some of these underclassmen for OU, you give them limited opportunities, and they always seem to make the most of them. It's a tough job that coaching staff has got.
And that's one thing about Patty Gasso is she will shake the defense up a little bit midway through towards the end of the game, allowing some of the freshmen to step up in critical roles. It not only allows them to have that sense of feeling that pressure, I guess you could say, but getting in the game and stepping up in big moments. And I think it's amazing how she will utilize so many of her players throughout the course of a game, just not sticking to the same 9.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Cam Harrison, able to get Arkansas out of the inning. Razorbacks one last chance to get into the bullpen, and now a commanding 7-0 lead. Here coming into the bottom of the 7th, Sam Landry trying to close out what has been a dominating performance in the circle so far here today.
Sam Landry has been absolutely dominant in the circle, utilizing all of her pitches, throwing them in different counts, keeping the Arkansas offense off balance. But for Arkansas, being down 7 runs, it's one batter at a time. It's not striving for the long ball. It's getting runners on and taking it swing by swing.
Kramer has one of the 3 Razorback hits. That one rolling, but foul first. Kramer doubled down the right field line last time up. 4th double of the year. Landry trying to get her 70th career win. For Reagan Kramer, former All-Region selection. Read where as a kid she wanted to play in the NBA. She was a really good multi-sport athlete growing up and through high school. Nice job at first on a hard hit ball. Sanders takes care of it.
And on a hard hit ball like that, Sanders did such a great job of keeping her glove down and staying through the short hop that the ball had late break on.
Landers retired 8 of the last 9. First pitch strike to Ella McDowell. You never know exactly what you're going to get in a freshman, but this is one that they were pretty sure was going to make an immediate impact, and she is not disappointed. Emanating 364. Back to the circle. There's been quite a few of those today, and Landry has fielded each and every one of them.
Landry getting all the work in the game today defensively. Just a testament to the drop ball that she has, keeping the ball low in the zone. She has forced a lot of ground ball outs.
Carly Davison, with 2 outs and the base is empty, takes a first pitch strike.
12 of the hitters faced by Sam Landry today have been issued by ground ball out.
We talked about Arkansas trying to reach that final stage, trying to get to the Women's College World Series, and this is a player who knows what it takes to get there and knows the feeling of being there. Davison with Utah reaching the pinnacle. Hogs down to their final strike here in game 1 of the Twin Bill. In the air to center, playable. Hannah Coors got it, and Oklahoma takes game 1 behind a complete game shutout from Sam Landry. And again, like we talked about in the open, they did it in all phases.
It was the offense, it was the defense. Sam Landry in the circle allowed her team to stay laser focused with the performance that she provided today.
Oklahoma takes game 1. They stay unbeaten. These two teams will re-rack them and get going in about 45 minutes for game 2 of the series. Hope you'll stick around and join us for that. Until then, for our entire crew, for Sydney Parlee, Josh Haley saying so long from Bogle Park.